It's wonderful to see so many people here today. Absolutely fantastic to see such a great interest in these amazing cultural events that we have here at the United Nations. So, Da Jiao Hao, ni hao everybody. I'm afraid to say that despite it being Chinese Language Day, that's about as much Chinese as you will get from me for now, because it's not my strong suit. But I am the president of the United Nations Staff Recreation Council. Our role is to oversee all of the United Nations staff clubs. We have around about nearly 100 clubs. We focus on different cultural areas, cultures, languages, activities, sports. It's really a way for United Nations staff members to come together and to share their activities, their interests, their hobbies, and their culture with one another, and with specially selected outside guests. So I think we can all feel very, very honored that we're here today for this Chinese Language Day event. My actual work at the United Nations, I'm in charge of our digital communications across major UN platforms, and we have a very nice website. James, who's sitting next to me here, he does all the actual work. I just take the credit for it. He does all the work in Chinese, and we have a great Chinese Language Day website. The day itself is, according to our website, the 20th. But I think it is worth dwelling briefly on why the 20th. I'm sure many of you know this, but on our website we had a very fun and interesting little anecdote which tells us that the date for the Chinese Language Day was selected from Guyu, which translates as rain of millet, which is the 6th of 24 solar terms in the traditional East Asian calendars to pay tribute to Kangji. Kangji is a very important figure in ancient China, claimed to be an official historian of the Yellow Emperor and the inventor of Chinese characters. Legend has it that he had 4 eyes and 4 pupils, and that when he invented the characters, the deities and ghosts cried and the sky rained millet. From then on, Chinese people celebrate the day of Guyu in honor of Kangji, and in the Gregorian calendar, i.e. our Western calendar, this usually begins around April the 20th. So some very fascinating background there on the deep cultural roots of this day that we're celebrating today. A few words on the Chinese language at the United Nations. You are probably aware that we have 6 official Chinese languages and a number of unofficial languages that we also work in. But Chinese is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations. It was established as an official language of the United Nations in 1946, so it has a very, very long history. That's just after the establishment of the United Nations, after the end of the Second World War in 1945. However, in the early years, Chinese was not commonly used in the work of the United Nations, but fortunately, and I'm glad to say that this situation was improved after the restoration of the lawful rights of the People's Republic of China in the United Nations in 1971. In 1973, the General Assembly included Chinese as a working language, which was followed by the Security Council in 1974. And now we find that more and more UN officers and staff members work with the Chinese language. We do actually have an absolutely fantastic language program here at the United Nations for staff to avail themselves of. And I know from colleagues that Chinese is one of the very popular languages. So it's obviously a language that many non-native speakers are keen to learn. You know, China is a big and upcoming country, and so I think many staff who are not Chinese by their background are interested to learn more and more about it and be able to engage with it. And obviously, the Chinese language is a primary way to do that. So I'm very glad that we have this sort of forums for anybody that's interested in Chinese culture or history or language to be part of. So with all of those words having been said, I'll just quickly run through our program today, which I think was shown earlier on, but I'll quickly run through it. So after my brief opening remarks here, we are going to have a speech by Mr. Zhou Shen. Now, we're very, very honored to have him with us today. He's as many of you will know, a very, very big figure in China. And not only are we so fortunate to have him with us, we're even more fortunate because he's composed a very special song for us. So I'm super excited to look forward to that. And that will be on the agenda shortly after. We'll have his speech at 1:25. We'll have a 1:20 captivating video by the Shanghai Library exploring the evolution of Chinese characters. 1:25 we'll have the speech by Mr. Zhou Shen, followed by the song. And then at 1:35, we will go into a talk by UN linguist Ji Chen on the unique charm of human-powered multilingualism as reflected in her translation of this new song that we will hear beforehand, Mr. Zhou Shen's Ode to Peace. This will then be followed by a panel discussion on the Chinese language. So with all that being said, I'll hand it off to our very honored guests today and let the program commence. And one final phrase from me in Chinese is 谢谢 everybody.